Welcome to the Sprinkled with Hope podcast.
This is Jason. And this is Shane.
And it's podcast time.
Welcome to your Sprinkle with Hope podcast and your host Shane. And today, Jason and I are doing something that we haven't ever done, which is wing it. We have no idea what we're going to talk about. I don't have any quotes. We normally start with quotes, but I don't have a quote. Jason might surprise me and have a quote, but we talked about this, and just, from me to you, our listeners, I want to personally thank you. We honestly see you from all over the world. We love the support that you give us. We honestly see you wherever you are in the United States, all over in England, Ireland, everywhere. Like, we have listeners, I think we're now in 76 countries, and it's just mind-blowing to me to see all of the support that we get. I wanted to tell you how much we care about you. Often I think people in their heads, they get down on themselves and we're our biggest critic. And so I'm telling you right now, you are cared for. You are an amazing person. You're loved. And this is coming from Jason and I. We feel all these emotions for you and feelings because honestly, we do this for you. We have fun doing it. And we feel like we provide great content, but this is really for you, to give you things that you can do to possibly and hopefully help build a life that you want to live.
So I don't have a quote, but I have something that I posted on our social media platform, and it was simply this. And I'm not coming off rude or arrogant or anything like that. This all comes out of love. But what I put on there was, we have enough time for whatever it is that we want to prioritize in our life. Oftentimes you say, "Oh, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for this. I don't," right? It's that you're not making time for that particular thing. It's not a priority in your life. So I think oftentimes we just need to be a little more honest with ourselves and say, is that something I want to prioritize? If it's not, then it's not that you don't have time. It's that it's not a priority for you. You've got other things you want to accomplish, and that's fine. That's how you set boundaries and how you put your life in order and how you deal with relationships and things like that. I don't think it has anything to do with you being rude or anything. It has to do with what is your priorities in life, what's important to you. If it's important enough, then you're going to make time, right? It's like if I said, "Hey, Shane, we want to have you over for dinner," or I'm thinking about it, right? And I'm thinking, okay, well, this Saturday or whatever, we have a party to go to. And so I wouldn't say, "Hey, Shane, do you want to come over Saturday for a party?" Because I've already set the priority that thing is important to me to go to on Saturday. I would say, we want to invite you over Sunday. I wouldn't even give you the option, right? Because we've got something going on. And I think that's how we generally control our lives, or what we have control over, is just making that time for whatever it is that is important to us.
Yeah, I agree. I think going to our podcast, if we didn't set aside time to do it, it's not going to do it itself.
Right.
You have to spend time doing the thing. And I think when we do that, when we prioritize our time, we all have the same time, but when we make that a priority, that's where we gain a lot more control in life, where all of those things that might be distractions for other people, they tend to just fall off and they're not as important. So they leave us, and that's fine, because we're making it important to do the things that we want to do. So I love that thought.
Yeah, and I was also kind of thinking as you were talking, and this is me admitting something, but I actually love video games. I really do. It's been something that's been a part of my life since I was a kid, right? Playing Atari. which that's also, that kind of dates me a little bit. But I mean, I remember when we got a Nintendo for the first time and we played it until we won it.
Yeah.
And we weren't going to give up. So it is something that I enjoy. But I will tell you, the last time I was probably playing video games has been potentially months, if not years, since the last time I actually played. I love doing it, but right now it's not something that's a priority in my life, right? I've got other things that I've already set aside and said, no, my family is important. These other things that I've got going on currently are a little more important than playing video games, even though it's something I enjoy doing. So I think even sometimes your things that you like and enjoy, customs and traditions that you want to keep going, maybe they're not totally a priority in life, or maybe you are prioritizing, but they're not really that important to you. So
Yeah.
just a side thought.
Yeah, as you were talking about video games, because I remember putting in the video game in Nintendo and not stopping till we won. And I think there's a lesson in that. Whether you're playing a video game, hiking a mountain, whatever you are doing, don't stop until you accomplish what you really want. If you really want to hike the tallest mountain, then do it, but prepare. So what we're talking about is prioritizing your time. So put in the effort to train and do those type of things before you hike your mountain. In the case of video games, we played video games a lot back then, and we just decided, you know what, we're not going to stop the game. We're not even going to turn it off
Right.
until we win. And I think it was like 2 days that it was
Solid.
and we finally won that whole game. But I think there's a valuable lesson that as we prioritize the things that are important to us, don't stop. It's going to be hard, challenging, rewarding, but don't stop until you accomplish the thing that you want.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value in putting forth that effort to accomplish that thing. In that particular case, it was a video game, but again, at that time, that was a priority in our life. We were bound and determined to beat this Super Mario Brothers game, and we did so. But yeah, it was don't anybody unplug the I just remember like adamant, nobody turn the TV off even. It was just leave it on.
Yeah, that's so true. I did have I have shared this quote before because it's something that I say a lot, and that is life happens sometimes. And the reason why I say sometimes is because, at least for me, it puts me in the mindset of life really happens sometimes, but other times you go make the life that you want. Don't just sit back and wait for life to happen to you. Go live life. Go do the things that you want to do. If you want to go on vacations, make it a priority and plan for it, and simply just do it. Put the energy that's in you out there so that eventually you're just going to go on the vacation you want, or you're going to write a book because that's what you want, or you're going to sell art because that's what you want to do. You might buy a home, and that might stretch you. But again, life is hard, challenging, but it's also rewarding if you do simple things. And I think we've shared a ton of things that not only our listeners can use in their daily lives, but whoever listens to our podcast can take those things from guests and from things that we've said and really use those in life. We don't share things that are really hard and challenging. They're simple, but they make a difference because Jason and I do them, and we know that they work. So
yeah,
I did share a quote.
No, I love it. And as you were kind of thinking, and on this particular episode, obviously we didn't really go into it with anything in particular we wanted to talk about. But as you were talking, I thought to myself, well, Christmas is coming up, right? Or the holiday season, however you want to look at it. What's maybe a tradition you do, Shane, and your family that you could share with our listeners to say, because I think traditions are important, and that's something that we put, value in and make a priority in our life. What's something that you and your family do around Christmas time that you feel like this is something we're going to do, forever? It is a priority in our life.
Yeah. So we like to read the story "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." We do that just after we open our Christmas Eve gift, which is always pajamas. But we get in our pajamas and then we read that. And I like it again because it's so simple to read a little book with our family, but it also puts me in the mindset of, why are we really celebrating this specific holiday? But in life in general, it's about families. It's about developing relationships. It's about building those relationships and strengthening them. And I've always reminded in that moment, that's really what life is about. All the other stuff aside is fun and important, but most important is the relationships that we're building, and hopefully that's with our families, that it starts there. But that's what came to mind. Is it really just reminds me the importance of families in that moment. It's something so simple, but I bet we'll do it until I can't read.
Right.
How
Yeah.
about you guys?
Yeah, we do a similar thing. So we do pajamas. We open pajamas on Christmas Eve. We do read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," and we also read, out of the Bible, the Christmas story of the birth of the Savior. And I think that, again, we're talking about things that we like together and growing that unity. We usually have hot chocolate or wassail or something like that we like to do as we're taking part in that activity. But I agree with you. I think that it's all about family, and family is the priority at that moment. I don't necessarily know that it's the action of what we're doing. Like the pajamas is just something fun, right?
Yeah.
But it's the fact that you're together, getting excited about, Christmas Day and celebrating, that the birth of the Savior. If you're religious but whatever, however you celebrate that's fine. That's just how we do it, right? Of course.
Yeah. So talking about family, I mean, we know some of our listeners, and some of them we know very well. A lot of you, we don't know. We know we can see where you're from, but we have no idea who you are. But I can honestly say, we feel like you're part of our podcast family. And I'm being sincere when I say that. We talk about it a lot. We love to see where people are from who are listening to us. And I can honestly say that you're part of our family. Hopefully, if you listen to one of the episodes, you're like, oh my gosh, that was so good. We hope you share it with somebody that you might see in your life that's struggling or that could really benefit from that. Share it, subscribe to our YouTube and podcast. And it means so much to us to connect with you on a deeper level. We see where you're from, but we don't really know who you are. So I'd love to connect with some of you if you're willing. And you can reach either of us, Jason at sprinklewithhope.com, Shane at sprinklewithhope.com, or sprinklewithhope1 sprinklewithhope1@gmail.com is our group email. You can contact us and let us know things you like, don't like. I personally like to connect with people, and it would make my heart really happy if you connected with us somehow.
Yeah, and there's many ways to do that, right? I mean, you said our email address. Obviously we used to have a group on Facebook. We felt it better to go to the page. It just seemed to have more functionality for what we were working on and things like that. And so, find us, Sprinkle with Hope. We love spreading hope and love and joy throughout the world. And we see you, we feel you, we wish you a very happy holidays however you celebrate that, and just hope that you do spend time with your family, those people that are important in your life, and make them a priority, and give them an extra squeeze or a little hug, and just let them know that you care for them, because that's really what it's all about, and growing that family unity and love for each other. So from Shane and I to you, we give you our holiday wishes and a hug from us. So here's your air hug. We really just love you and appreciate you guys, and wish you all the best. Happy holidays.